Hello and good evening. Uh, this is it's kind of a little series that I would like to do on various topics. So it'll probably seem a little unorganized because I haven't written like a script or anything. Um, Although maybe I'll start doing that at some point. I don't know, but I'm just kind of making these remarks. It's kind of off the cuff, just kind of off the top of my head. Um, just to kind of speak my mind on popular issues. So so a few things that are kind of on my mind recently are the news that Michael Bloomberg seems to plan on entering the 2020 presidential race. And I guess Jeff Bezos had asked him to step in and run for president. And some people are kind of upset about it. They think, oh, Jeff Bezos and Michael Bloomberg, these guys are billionaires. They can't be any good. They must be bad news for everyone because they're billionaires. They're the 1%. Rah, right, that kind of shit. So that's not necessarily true. That's just one of the qualities or characteristics of these guys, right? Jeff Bezos is kind of an innovative guy. I mean, he's obviously smart. He's got a tech company, right? A massively successful tech company. And a tech company is something that you kind of have to build from the ground up, right? If I recall correctly, Jeff Bezos just started with like an online bookstore and it kind of just exploded at some point and turned into this huge empire, this huge business empire. Uh, and to compare that with Trump, Trump is a real estate guy, right? Like any dumb shit can do real estate. You buy some properties, you pay people to manage it. I mean, maybe as complicated as it gets is like dealing with the architecture or like the design of whatever building you plan on building. But really, it's just owning property and just like receiving payments, right? There's nothing really that innovative going on. You're not really solving any challenging problems. Any dumb shit can do it. And Donald Trump inherited his wealth, and I mean, he does real estate. It doesn't take a genius to do that. But but a lot of people, they don't see these differences. Most people don't see the difference between Michael Bloomberg and Donald Trump. They just see that one common characteristic. Oh, he has money, therefore bad. Well, that's stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Um, and that kind of brings me to another thought. Um, I mean, it's kind of the same mentality with people who talk shit about socialism, right? They say, oh, uh, the Soviet Union was a socialist country and they failed, therefore socialism equals bad, right? It's just that people that don't dig very deep and they don't look at all the qualities or characteristics of a thing or a person, and they're just looking at it from a very superficial perspective, right? The Soviet Union failed because it was a fucking dictatorship. It was fascist. It was a fascist autocratic dictatorship with no democratic channels. There were no democratic institutions, no democracy. Basically, that's the whole fucking reason that it was such a nightmare. Is because it was just uh, one dickhead running the show, one stupid asshole running the show, and having all the power and nobody could get rid of him, right? That was the problem. It wasn't really the vision of socialism. It wasn't the principle of, hey, let's have some equality and let's try to have a more egalitarian society, right? That wasn't why it was a shit nightmare. It was because of the fascist element, the lack of democracy, and people just don't really people are just very superficial in this regard. Um, it's like, oh, you have this one quality, so I'm not gonna look at all the other qualities or characteristics. I'm just gonna make a judgment based on this one characteristic or quality, right? And it's very stupid and superficial. And I think Michael Bloomberg probably would be a pretty good president. I mean, he beat the hell out of Trump, right? This guy is like, let's just Google Michael Bloomberg here. Look at his Wikipedia page. So Michael Bloomberg, he's a businessman, politician, author, and philanthropist. Let's see. Yes, he has a lot of money, but that doesn't necessarily make him a bad person, right? There's plenty of innovative, brilliant billionaires who are philanthropic, who care about the public, the general well-being, not just not just you know. I mean, yes, some billionaires are greedy, stupid, selfish assholes, right? Uh, Donald Trump, I think he's a millionaire. I mean, obviously he's a dumb asshole. He only cares about himself. He acquired all of his wealth by shitting on other people, right? And that much is easy to tell. But that doesn't mean Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg, is that way. Uh, he's obviously uh, he's obviously very different than Donald Trump. If you look at his Wikipedia page or his bio or whatever, he went to Harvard. He got an MBA in Harvard. I'm not sure in what. Oh, Master of Business Administration. So I mean, he's educated. I don't believe Trump ever got an education. Let's see. Let's see what else we can read about Bloomberg that's interesting. So, I mean, he donates money, right? He has joined the Giving Pledge, whereby billionaires pledge to give away at least half of their wealth. That's a pretty generous fucking pledge, I guess. To date, Bloomberg has given away 8.2 billion, including his November 2018 1.8 billion gift to Johns Hopkins University for student aid. That's fucking cool. I really admire that. I think what's his name, Trump, has only ever swindled people, and like I guess he had a lawsuit where he was taking money from a fake charity or something like that. I don't know. But let's see what else. So I believe he was a mayor. Yeah, he was mayor of New York City, so he's got some experience. And let's see, awards and honors. He's got a bunch of awards and honors. Right. I mean, he's getting the wrath of like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren simply because he has a lot of money. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't make you an evil person, right? It's all of your actions taken together that determines whether you're a bad person or not. And so Bloomberg, I believe he also, let's see, he's very knowledgeable in terms of finance, which I mean, that kind of experience would probably be really good to bring to government because, shit costs money, and you have to think about the business management aspect of government. So I mean, that'd be a really valuable experience to have. If you don't know, started. He's got this company where they do like financial analysis. Um, they watch markets very closely. It's kind of like the Wall Street Journal, I guess, but they do other things with like stock trading and other things like that. But I mean, not every Wall Street person, not every finance person is irresponsible or stupid or greedy, right? And if you take the time to look at some information about Bloomberg, I mean, he's a decent guy. He's not a bad person. Um, he's been a Democrat for most of his life. He's okay. So I'm reading his political stances on Wikipedia. So he's registered as a Democrat for most of his life. He is regarded as socially liberal or progressive on multiple issues, supporting abortion rights, same-sex marriage, strict gun control measures, environmentalism. So I mean, he's a billionaire, and he believes in environmentalism, right? He believes in a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants. On economics and foreign issues, Bloomberg has tended towards a conservative or moderate stance. So when coming to economics and other foreign issues, it says he leans conservative or moderate. He opposed a timeline for withdrawal from the Iraq War, criticized it as a favored one. Economically, he supports government involvement in issues such as public welfare, while being strongly in favor of free trade, pro-business, and describing himself as a fiscal conservative because he balanced city budget. He's concerned about climate change and has touted his mayoral efforts to reduce greenhouse gases. Bloomberg has been criticized for not allowing many emergency officials who responded to the September 11, 2001 attacks to attend the 10th anniversary observation that day. I'm not sure what that's all about. But he was also at odds with many around the U.S. for not inviting any clergy to the ceremony marking the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. I have no issue with that. So I mean, just kind of looking over his stances, like he seems like he would make a hell of a much better president than Trump. And let's see, his stance on education. Bloomberg has replaced the school board set up by the state with direct mayoral control over public education. He raised the salaries of teachers by 15%, while the test score of students in the city and the graduation rate rose as well. He opposes social promotion, stating that students should be promoted only when they are adequately prepared for the next grade level. Okay, so he opposes social promotion, which is taking a student, allowing the student to move up a grade even if they fail that grade. So he opposes that, and I think that's not a bad idea. Stating that students should be promoted when they're adequately prepared for the next grade level. He favors after school program. All right, so I mean, so to me, it seems all right, and I mean, there's really no real reason to oppose this guy just because he has a lot of money. He's definitely worth considering, and I think I think he would make a pretty good president, to be honest with you. I would definitely, for me personally, if it came down to let's see, Sanders, Warren, Biden, or Bloomberg, I'd really heavily consider Bloomberg. I'd say Bloomberg or maybe even Elizabeth Warren. Definitely not Biden. Kind of. Sanders seems pretty good. Sanders would be. I definitely consider Sanders, but I think he seems a little extreme. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but Bloomberg I would definitely give some consideration.